Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are continuing into Tyrion Cuthbert. Last time we finished up Walking Dead, proved that Redmond technically orchestrated it, the murder of Bellwether, because he didn't technically kill her. He got a construct to do it. But did he really? Was the idea to actually go through with it put into his mind, or was that desire to kill pulled out of him? Who knows? But now let's just continue. I'm sorry, Tyrion. There was so much I wanted to tell you, so much I wanted to show you, and I'm afraid I was never meant to walk this path with you. This world is bleak, merciless, and unforgiving. But don't let it extinguish the flickering flame I can see within you. Use my eyes, peer beyond the divine gate, just as I once did. Use it to build your own path to happiness. Let's get into case 3, the origins of Horus. Is it Horus or Horus? I don't know what the Egyptian, how it would actually sound. Instead of, potentially, English version. And we're back to this again. Okay, I gotta use this because for some reason now it's frozen and it won't show me that last line. Preposterous. Completely and utterly preposterous. Is something wrong, Von Sanctus?
You filthy rat, you cheated, didn't you? That's it, isn't it? You're just a cheat and a charlatan.
Oh yeah. Leader of House Von Sanctus, the weakest of the 4 pillars, stands at the head of the kingdom's commerce and international trade. I've met children who play chess. You have any proof to that claim?
I mastered chess before you could crawl out of whatever rat hole you were born in. You honestly believe that you could defeat me?
Honestly, I'm just as disappointed as you are. I expected more from a duke, but I guess all the gold in the world can't buy you a modicum of skill.
You little upstart owl.
Von Sanctus' attendant silently tilted his head towards the spectator of the tournament. The crowd had fallen silent, save for a few aristocrats who were muttering among themselves. Some were even chuckling at the spectacle.
Absolutely preposterous.
Treated it like a prayer as he stumped away from the tournament grounds.
So, that was something. Did you have to be such a sore winner?
Oh, come on, that was hilarious. Embarrassing nobles like him is half the fun of these tournaments. There's his confidence when you're in the courtroom. Stealing is far less of a pushover.
Wonder if she plays chess.
Now there was an interesting thought.
I'm gonna tell her next time we go out.
You two have really been spending a lot of time together lately.
What, are you jealous?
I just never expected you to get along so well with a noble.
I mean, you talk to her. She's not like most of the stuck-up heiresses. She really takes her job seriously.
Maybe more than you do. I'd just be careful around her. You've seen what the papers have been saying about her father.
Hey, she's nothing like her father. Don't say things like that when she's around.
Does he ever come up when you talk to each other?
Nope, and you better not bring him up the next time we see her.
She seemed oddly protective of the prosecutor. It was probably fine, despite our differences. Steelman was oddly fair when we were in the courtroom. Celeste spent most of her time protecting me, so I was glad she had someone she could spend her days off with.
Anyways, we should celebrate.
Pushover, but you beat a duke. Wanna head to that restaurant in Rathholm? What are you talking about? There are plenty of places here we haven't tried before. I only returned to Arcane for the chance to finally defeat the head of a pillar family. I really wanted to leave, especially for anyone in town who recognized me.
Remember that cafe we passed on the way to the tournament grounds? We should grab some lunch there.
I wanted to object, but she had this way of making it impossible to say no to her. Alright, I guess there's no harm in staying a little longer. We traced our steps back to the cafe and looked at the sign note that hangs above it, dark roast and like magic. As we entered, we were struck by the powerful aroma of freshly baked pastries and coffee. The scent of bread and butter swirled around me, slowly washing away my reluctance to come here. So, you dare to enter the domain of Alabaster Siren? Whether you seek to... Whether you were seeking glory or oblivion, it found you all the same. You stand before Maurice Tudor, the Ashen Lord of Arcane. My childhood friend appeared before us, her posture firm and over the top as always. Mosurika was much older than when I last seen her, but I could recognize the theatrical cadence anywhere. She clearly hadn't lost her flair for the dramatic. Her cloak somehow billowed with every exaggerated pose she snapped to. Mosurika Tudor. Okay, my dramatic childhood friend. She's a commoner who was born a mage through Dracogen patronage. She was able to open up her own restaurant like she'd always dreamed about. I should have done more to keep in contact. Wait! Is she the one that the Yana sisters are going to be working under? Because remember that, in the last episode, Steelwind said something about there being a restaurant in Orne. I hope we have some connection here. I'll have you know that my confections are not for the faint of... She froze up. She recognized me immediately. Tyrion? I winced as I rubbed the back of my neck. Hi, Rika. I knew it. It is you. Do you have any idea how worried we've all been? Do you two know each other? Right. Sorry. Mosurika, this is my bodyguard, Celeste. Celeste, this is Mosurika. We kind of grew up together. She is actually a commoner mage like you. You used to live here? But you were in such a rush to leave. You came here to eat, right? Let me bring you some of our best dishes on the house. No, we couldn't possibly... Don't be like that. It's been years since I've seen you, and you know how good my cooking is. Okay, but only for a little bit. Also, bit of a warning. Celeste is kind of a glutton. Her stomach is basically bottomless. Hey. Oh, I'll accept that challenge. Rika set a table for the three of us before calling over a waiter, ordered the eggs benedict. Rika ordered French toast. Celeste ordered an omelet, ham skillet, shaved steak, breakfast wrap, a stack of pancakes, a stack of waffles, chocolate crepe, and the avocado toast. Because she wanted something light. I am so sorry, Rika. I'll pay for her food. This is nothing. My cafe has dealt with far greater foes than this. Can I get the eggs benedict and the French toast? Their food smells amazing. Great. I'll pay for her. Thank you. Your bodyguard really eats a lot. Celeste looked up from her plate, making eye contact with the two of us. She paused for a moment before going back to her meals. She's really good at her job. She must have been burning all those calories somehow. I heard you've been fighting nobility. Is that why you need her? You know about that? The papers won't stop talking about you. I couldn't believe when I saw your picture in the RNA Post after all these years. I'm sorry. I'm just glad you're safe, Tyrion. Oh, there's a... Look at you. I never expected the light-sworn monarch to start wearing a suit. What's this light-sworn monarch I keep hearing about? Ugh. Something I used to call myself when I was a kid. Wait, really? That's adorable. It pales in comparison to the Ashen Lord of RNA. But just as I'd expect from my apprentice, you're practically famous now. Not even a headmaster of the Imperial Academy could stand against you. I winced to be reminded of Redmond. I still don't feel great about what happened. Oh, what's wrong? You heard Redmond wasn't a bad person. He just made a really terrible mistake. I'm not happy about indicting him. Oh. Are you the owner of this cafe, Rika? You always dreamed of opening one up when we were kids. The source of my strength is the everlasting financial report of the Draconote Trading Company. Its owners was rendered powerless when he tried confections. He had no choice but to fund my warpath. Draconote Trading Company? I don't think I've heard of them. They are pretty small. They're only operating in RNA right now. But I hear that they're planning to expand their operations through Wyverngard. I'm surprised the Duke of Commerce is letting that slide. Isn't he the guy you beat in the chess tournament this morning? Wait, that was you? House von Sanctus is one of the 4 pillar families. They manage mercantile operations throughout Wyverngard. So House Steelwind controls the military and House von Sanctus controls the business. House Frege controls the banking company, banking houses, and the exchange of currency, and House Sybil controls the judicial legislative branches of our kingdom. Is it just me, or does the city look a lot cleaner than before? Oh, right. You left before all those new merchants appeared. New merchants. Did they come from a merchant guild?
Not exactly. The Jacketed Trading Company was one of the first merchants that came. They bought some of the Arcane manufacturers a few years ago. They transformed it into the heart of the artificial reproduction within Orne. Other merchants felt the way of the wind and followed them here. Being based in a port city would definitely give them an edge. And Orne is one of those few trading hubs that sends or receives exports from other kingdoms. I just looked at her surprised. Hey, I'm a businesswoman. I know about economics. Their presence lit a flame in the city's economy. They aren't owned by the nobility, and they pay their employees a lot more than Mont Sickness does. It's really opened a lot more opportunities for the people here. It sounds like the Duke appreciates the competition, though. They're even talking about forming employee-run unions.
Oh, the Duke definitely won't appreciate that. Who's gonna die next?
So you still play chess?
Yeah, I'm nationally ranked too.
I heard that some upstart commoner defeated Mont Sickness at a tournament this morning. I should have known it was the light sworn monarch.
But upstart commoner?
Hey, you still do that thing when you play?
No.
What thing?
Nothing. She's not talking about anything.
Wait, you're actually embarrassed about it? When we were kids, you did even more than I did. What did he used to do? Why don't you show her Tyrion?
I refuse.
Come on, show us Tyrion.
I think I'm a little too old for this.
I am insulted that you think age has anything to do with it. You need to feed it, Tyrion, lest your radiant light be smothered into a flickering ember. Do it, Tyrion.
Yeah, do it, Tyrion. Two of them began chanting, drawing the attention of the other patrons at the cafe. I took in a deep breath. Those who stand in the shadows, those who fear the light of divinity. Your imperials will fall, and your armies will perish. Kneel and cower before the divine eye of Horus. I am Tyrion Cuthbert, Emperor of Light, and the sworn enemy of darkness itself. They were trying really hard to contain their laughter. Well, that's why I don't do it anymore.
Oh, that was great. It was really cool, Tyrion.
Her poorly contained laughs puffed up in between each word. And why are you laughing? You were just doing it a moment ago.
Yeah, but she owns it. You used to say something else. What was it? Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter who stands in my way. Man, king, or god? Yeah, that's it.
He still says that sometimes. Well, it's been nice catching up with you, Rika. But I think it's time for us to get going.
What? But we just got here. I'll let you go this time, Lightsworn Monarch. But by partaking of the food within my realm, you've fallen under its curse.
Curse?
You are now bound to my domain for eternity. But I am a benevolent lord. Your only charge as my servant is to write me at least once a fortnight.
How long is a fortnight again? 2 weeks. I'll stay in touch, Rika.
You better. Just don't disappear like last time.
We left the cafe and made our way to the local merchants guild to rent a carriage. The city street seemed a bit more crowded before. There must be some kind of event going on.
Hey, Tyrion.
Yeah?
She fidgeted with her hands and seemed unable to make eye contact with me. She looked like she wanted to say something but couldn't find the right words. Never mind, it's nothing.
Okay. Made our way to the merchants guild in silence. With each step, we found the street becoming more and more crowded. I really hope the traffic wouldn't interfere with the ride home.
Hi, could we rent a carriage for travel to Rathholm?
Sorry, the carriage to travel outside the city is temporarily closed. What? Why? Haven't you heard? Steel and soldiers have locked down the city. They set up a blockade and everything. Chill ran up my spine. What are you talking about? Check the city gates if you don't believe me. We arrived at the city gates. Like the man had said, there was a division of knights blocking the exit to the city. There was an entire legion of them. Their flags bore the color of the King's Guard.
What are they doing here?
King's Guard was a military force that responded to matters of national importance. It worked directly under Grand General Steelwind. The townfolk kept their distance, but several aristocrats were making their objections known. This is outrageous.
How long do you plan on keeping us here?
Sorry, but we have our orders. We can't let anyone outside of the city until our investigation is complete. Investigation? We should keep our distance. I don't want to—
Oh, screw that!
Before I knew what was going on, Celeste marched towards the night station there.
Wait, Celeste! At least tell us what's going on. Why is the entire city being blockaded?
Sorry, ma'am. We're not allowed to release that information. You'll just have to make other arrangements while we sort this out. Actually, I haven't seen you two around before. I'll need to take down your name and occupations for our records.
What? Why?
It's fine, Celeste. We're better off just cooperating with them. We need to avoid any kind of conflict with them. Tyrion Cuthbert, defense attorney.
Ugh, fine. Celeste McCoy, bodyguard.
Suddenly recognized us, so our reputation did more harm than good most of the time. Looked over to the other knights. They seem to be taking notes of the people here too. They seem to be compiling a list of everyone inside the city, but for what? I have an important engagement tomorrow. What am I supposed to do now?
This can't possibly be legal. The Minister of Justice will be hearing of this.
Nobles continued shouting at the knights. It was clear they wouldn't be budging anytime soon. As soon as the knights were finished speaking to us, I quickly backed away. Celeste followed closely behind me.
Tyrion, wait!
She said that, but it took very little effort for her to keep pace with me. My breathing was getting faster and my head was aching. Scaled Lord, it's happening here.
What?
It's exactly what's been happening in the countryside. Lucio Steelwind sent his men to keep the peace here.
Oh, that's why you're so freaked out?
How are you so calm right now?
I probably wouldn't if they tried to attack us.
Well, I'm not some super warrior who can fight a legion of knights by myself.
Tyrion, relax. They just said they were investigating something. There's no riots here, and we're in the heart of the Duke of Commerce's territory. Do you really think that Von Sanctus would let another Pillar family march onto its land and kill his people?
She had a point, but this uneasiness wasn't going away.
It'll be fine. Let's just find a place to stay the night and wait for all this to blow over.
Walked to a nearby tavern and found absolutely crowded with patrons. Everyone else had the same idea. Welcome to the Egwin Tavern. What can I do for you? Can we get 2 rooms for the night? Sorry, we're fully booked with the blockade and all.
Wait, let me take care of this.
Celeste took out a large pouch of gold and dropped it on the innkeeper's desk. Oh, would you look at that? One of our rooms just opened up. Only one? The entire city's locked down. Even with this gratuity, that's the best I can do for you.
What? Embarrassed to share a room with me, Tyrion?
No, I just briefly glanced at the innkeeper. He chuckled at my reaction. Fine, let's just go. Walked into the room that they had prepared for us. There was one bed. So, how should we—
Oh, I was just kidding before. You can have the bed. I'll just sleep on the floor. What? I can't just let you— Please, we're both commoners, but you live a cushy life in the city. I'm a mercenary. I've lived on the road for years. I've slept like this plenty of times.
Couldn't argue with that, but I still felt uneasy. Alright, just let me know if you change your mind.
Yeah.
Let myself fall into the bed, so I started checking the room for anything suspicious. I tried to relax, but Lucio Steelwind was in my hometown. I just took deep breaths. Celeste was right. The Grand General wasn't insane enough to try anything in the heart of Lord Lloyd Von Sanctus's territory. I really hope that was true.
We had an arrangement. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Guess I'm gonna go back to do my actual job. You little rat. Do you think you could get away with crossing me? You've already come this far. You're far from blameless. Now get back to the office and activate the device.
I thought you wanted me to rob the place. What's so special about this thing? Why the office?
How about I activate it right now? Do not do that.
I knew it. There's been something more to these jobs, ain't it? This ain't just robbery. You're using me for something else.
As if you ever cared. I know about your debts. You need me.
You know what? I'm done with this. I quit.
What do you think this is? Is that a cat? You got cotton in your ears or something?
I said I quit. Consider this my resignation.
Wait, stop. What?
Is Sanctus dead? Damn it all. Violetta, get out of there now. As the night went on, I found myself falling into a terrible nightmare. How long have I been walking through this forest? It's probably been days at this point. I was getting tired. I had to get to Rathholm. I had to find Miss Tamora again. I needed to find her. I needed her to teach me. I needed revenge. I really needed some food. I had already gone through all the dried fish I had packed for the journey. The compass told me that I was still heading west, but I didn't realize how long it would take to get to Rathholm on foot. Suddenly I heard the sound of a distant carriage coming from behind me. It wasn't long before the cart passed me. The carriage driver glanced at me before doing a double take and yanking at the reins. Hey, what are you doing all the way out here? I said nothing. I just stared blankly at him. You okay? Where are your parents?
They're gone.
The man scratched his head and scanned the surrounding forest.
I need to go to Rathholm. I need to find Ruby Tamora.
Wait, that criminal lawyer?
She's my family's lawyer.
Oh, I'm gonna be passing by Rathholm. You should probably come with me. I could get you to the city watch. They probably know how to help a kid like you. Wasn't interested in meeting more knights, but at this rate, I was going to starve. Without a word, I climbed into the back of his carriage. It looks like he's half dead. Started awake, my face was covered in sweat. It took me a while before I realized it had just been a nightmare. I rubbed my eyes, there were dry tears crusted into them. Damn it all. It's been a long time since I stopped having those nightmares. Being in this city was digging up memories that I had moved on from. All the more reason to leave as soon as possible. Celeste, are you up?
Huh?
She'd been wistfully staring outside the tavern window, but her body twitched the moment I called out to her. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You just startled me. There was clearly something else, but she didn't seem keen on sharing. Do you know if the city's still on lockdown?
I haven't checked yet. I was waiting for you.
We arrived at the city gates, so it was still being blocked by the Kingsguard. If anything, it looked like they doubled the number of knights there. I really didn't like where this was going.
You want to head to the cafe again?
Yeah, we'll just have to wait this out. And just as we turned around, we saw Rika running towards us from a block away.
Tyrion!
She broke out into a sprint, near tripping over as she slipped on the wet city streets. She looked exhausted and her clothes were drenched. She'd been out in the rain for a while.
Tyrion, it's terrible! There was an accident at the Arcane refinery last night. One of my friends who worked there, he fell into a vat of chemicals. He's dead.
Oh, Rika, I'm so sorry. If there's anything I can do. The Duke is blaming the Jacket and Carrot Trading Company.
He's trying to charge the owner with criminal negligence.
The lord of this region of House von Sanctus' responsibility to carry out the law, but the Duke was obviously taking this opportunity to attack one of his rivals.
Tyrion, you're a famous lawyer, right? Can you help them?
I don't think I can.
What? But...
Rika, I specialize in homicides. Most of my clients are mages who've been charged with murder. There isn't any magic involved in what happened. There isn't even a killer.
That's not true. I saw it happen. I didn't see who did it, but I saw someone cast a spell at him. It pushed him into the vat.
What? How sure are you of this?
I don't know. It all happened really fast.
I took a deep breath. Even she didn't seem that sure of what she saw. Do you know what kind of spell it was?
I don't know. It was powerful enough to break everything around it.
That definitely sounded too distinct. She must have seen something. Okay, I'll head to the refinery and see what I can do.
Really?
But don't get your hopes up. I don't have a lot of information to work with. That's fine. I'll let Dracula know that you're on the way. This week was just getting worse by the minute. We made our way to the Ornae's Arcane refinery. I'd always avoided the industrial district when I was a child. Eye of Horus always showed me a miasma of exhaustion and hopelessness draping over this part of town. I definitely felt less of that this time around. Got more used to dealing with my powers. Either that or Ornae's working conditions had really taken a turn for the better. Wow, so this is an arcane refinery? Never understood what they do here. Those machines refine the arcane crystals that they use in artificial devices. Crystals like that can power everything from simple lights to advanced stuff like your runestone. How do you know this? I basically had to, with all the extra reading I've been doing, learn how to fix your runestone. Sorry, I can't sense magic like you can. Mr. Cuthbert! So we arrived, we spotted Steel and directing the knights as they investigated the crime scene. I'm surprised to see you all here. I thought what happened this morning was being considered an accident.
I should say the same to you.
Was Rika right? Did a mage really murder her friend? My friend is an associate of the Dracogen Trading Company. She asked me to take a look at what happened.
Right. I'd forgotten that Lloyd was charging Dracogen with criminal negligence.
Isn't that why you're all here?
We're here because of another matter. Honestly, the death of Justin Way seemed fairly straightforward. I'll be prosecuting the case, of course, but I doubt there's anything to dispute there.
Well, if you're so confident, I guess you wouldn't mind answering my questions.
Why do I feel like you're about to make my job much more difficult?
Weren't you the one who said that the courts operate by having two balanced powers of opposition?
So you are going to defend him?
I want to say that I wasn't sure yet, but that would probably be a lie.
Very well. If there's something here I'm not seeing, I'd appreciate your perspective. I'll tell you what I know.
Can you tell me more about what happened?
This morning, a factory worker named Justin Way was walking on the catwalk above us. When he put his weight on the guardrail, it broke apart. He unfortunately fell into a vat of corrosive chemicals.
That's exactly a peaceful way to go out.
One witness, Morodiske Tudor, saw this happen and reported what she saw immediately. The workers quickly followed safety protocol to pour the concoction into the vat to neutralize its corrosive properties. But it was far too late. By the time they pulled him out, the only thing left of Justin's body was his bones and one of his personal effects. I have the autopsy report if you'd like to take a closer look.
I have to feel like I'm suddenly going a little bit too kiddish in Arya's voice. 10:02 a.m. after falling into the mat of old molten aetherite, only his bones. Scaled lord.
If the chemicals are strong enough to dissolve his body, how did this personal effect survive? Oh, we're not sure. The item was a well-crafted ring, so it probably was made out of material resistant to dissolution. The workers' union had previously reported the damaged guardrail to the refinery owner. We're charging Stefanik Dracoden with criminal negligence for failing to repair it in a timely manner.
But Morodiska said that she saw a spell push Justin into a vat.
That's what she told law enforcement too, but the evidence doesn't support that. There were no traces of magic anywhere near the guardrail, save for the magical chemicals in the vat. We didn't find any traces of evocation magic to even suggest an explosive spell pushed him. And there weren't any traces of transmutation magic to suggest anyone weak in the guardrail.
It's possible that Rika was in too much shock to remember what happened accurately, but it was so strange. I would need to talk to her again and get a more detailed description of what she saw this morning. What do you know about the Dracogen Trading Company?
I know that I've had to listen to the Duke of Commerce incessantly complain about them.
I'm guessing he doesn't get along with them.
Stefanik Dracogen's trading company is supposedly posing a threat to his holdings. Lloyd also doesn't seem to approve of how he's been handling the workers' unions.
I'm sure he's taken issue with the simple fact that he allows them to exist.
It appears so. We've also received a lot of reports of rising tensions between Mr. Dracoden and the unions. Apparently, many known dissidents have joined them as a way to indirectly fight back against the aristocracy.
Fuck, I can't speak.
This refinery union's head, Noah Morrison, has denied this, but the reports tell a more honest story.
Wait, Mr. Morrison is leader of the workers' union? Suppose tensions between worker union Orane and Stefanik Dracogen, the union head and refinery workers know Morrison, a harbor master of Orono Harbor, and a close family friend.
You two know each other?
It's something like that. Mr. Morrison was the harbor master of the Orne harbor where I used to live here. He was a kind of generous man who used to watch me when my mother was working. Felt uneasy about talking to him after all these years, but I needed to warn him if he was getting involved in dissidents. Although it had been more than 10 years since I had last seen him, he could very well be one of them. You know where Dracogen is? I'd like to talk to him about this directly. An old-timer's being questioned by the King's Guard. They're asking him about the robbery that occurred before the accident.
I'm sure he'll be back later today.
Wait, the refinery was also robbed this morning? You mentioned that you were investigating another matter. Did something else happen here this morning?
Over the last few months, there have been a string of suspicious robberies within Orne. There are a criminal who calls themselves the Mistweaving Phantom.
That style of naming sounds oddly familiar.
The city is a hub of global trade, and several ships belonging to the trading companies have been robbed. These thefts were expertly executed, no one witnessed them, and they left no evidence behind. The few times when the Phantom did trigger an alarm, it was as if they disappeared into thin air.
I guess this Phantom lives up to their name.
What's most alarming is the extremely dangerous shipment was stolen from an Imperial ship this morning.
What did they steal?
I'm sorry, but that is a matter of national security. I've already told you more than I should. It's not relevant to this case, so just leave that matter to my father and me. The King's Guard have completely blockaded the city to keep anyone from getting away.
So that's why they were blockading the city. They've been expertly robbing the merchant ships. No one ever spots them, and they don't leave any trace behind. Stole a dangerous shipment from an Imperial ship the morning of Justin's death. King's Guard has set up a blockade to prevent anyone from leaving in and out of Orne. Wait, did you just say your father is here? Why is Lucio Steelwind here? What is he planning?
Tyrion, you have every right to be concerned, but it's out of our hands. As I told you, the stolen shipment is a threat to national security. My father has taken it upon himself to search for it personally.
No, I needed to calm down. Lucio Steelwind may have a bloodthirsty monster in the countryside, but Orne was the central trading hub in Wyvergard. If he started a bloodbath here, it could very well cause the kingdom's economy to grind to a halt. Even he wasn't insane enough to do something like that.
My father has the best mages in the kingdom searching for it. It's clear, however, that someone is using powerful abjuration magic to mask its location. We'll just need to wait for this Phantom to be apprehended.
Either way, it seems like I learned everything I could for now. It was time to move somewhere else. Let's go to the docks. So, we'll check with Morrison first and then head back to Tudor. It's been a long time since I'd been to Orne Harbor, but the ocean breeze and the smell of seawater were unmistakable. The city had clearly changed a lot over the years, but at least one thing had stayed the same. I remember when I sit by the docks, bored out of my mind while my mother read people's fortunes on the boardwalks. Why did I say boardwalks? Boardwalk. I hated it. Never had anything to do or anyone to play with. I'd give anything to get those days back.
Are you okay?
Yeah, we should get going.
Are you sure? We can stay here a bit longer if you want.
Sounded tempting, but I knew it wouldn't be long before I started remembering everything else that happened. Sometimes it's good to take a rest, and Celeste, I'm fine. The tone of my voice turned a lot sharper than I meant for it to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Heard from Mariko, but I still can't believe it. It's really you, isn't it? Mr. Morrison. Harbor Master of Orne, he was friends with my mother before she was killed. He would always watch over me whenever my mother was busy with her job as a merchant. He taught me how to fish. It's good to see you, boy. Look how much you've grown. Hi. Drew in a sharp breath. The guilt over how I'd left the city was clawing at me. I'm sorry I never kept in touch. I'm just glad that you're safe. Some of these lads were sure you died in the woods. Color us surprised when we saw you in the newspaper taking on some noble in the countryside. Actually, since I have you here, I'm investigating the death of Justin Way. Oh, you heard about that. It's a terrible thing that happened to him. Can I ask you some questions about the Dracogen Trading Company? Of course. Oh. I'm glad to see you're doing okay, Mr. Morrison. Things have really turned around since you were last here. It's a little difficult to take in sometimes. So much has changed. I know it's a little tough to trust sometimes, but change can be good. It's all really new, but I feel like the city's in good hands. It's good to hear. You're okay, aren't you? Things weren't exactly, Just really trying to choose his next words carefully. I'm okay. Apparently, everyone's seen as much in the papers lately. Alright, I guess you're a defense attorney who saves mages. What? I know all this. That happened a long time ago, but it's okay if you're still not okay, okay? Sounded like he was clumsily stumbling through his words. You're probably all settled down in the capital, but I hear there's some groups that I'm okay. Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Right, of course.
I heard that you're leading one of the workers' unions in Orne?
Yeah, so you heard about that. I didn't trust it at first, but Dracula's idea really took off. Finally having to say and thinks has been great for the workers in the city.
Wait, the workers' unions were Stefanik Drakaden's idea?
Yeah, I was just as confused as you are. I had no idea what he was trying to do, but I wasn't gonna look that gift horse in the mouth.
Must have been bittersweet considering how hostile things have gotten between you two.
What? I heard about it from the prosecutor. I know about the tensions between the unions and Drakaden. This again. The Knights had said something like that too. Things had never been better between Stefanik and us.
The prosecutor said they received several reports of hostility between you two.
Well, that's the first time I'm hearing of this.
Seems sincerely confused. What was going on?
Oh, this is 1000% Sanctus, like, trying to, like, you know, screw over Drakaden. What's in these reports, anyway? Surely not any of the union members.
I'm not sure, but from what she said, these reports came from numerous sources.
Prosecutor's a steel one, ain't she? Are you sure you really trust what she says?
She's not the type of person who'd lie about something like this.
If you say so.
Are all those reports wrong, or was Mr. Morrison lying?
The more I hear about that story, the less it makes sense. I talked to the man who inspected that guardrail. Said it was only dented. It should never broken like they kept saying it.
So was Rika right then? Did someone break that guardrail apart using magic? If that were true, why weren't there any magical traces there? Hold on, let me check one thing.
Oh, we're bringing down Von Sanctus. Who the hell is this? Oh, that's the dead kid.
I was like, who the fuck is
He ain't alive anymore. Yeah, it's definitely Von Sanctus brat.
I heard there have been a string of robberies happening throughout town. They said that Drakaden's office was hit before the accident at the refinery.
Phantom even hit the refinery. And a real headache, that one.
The Inquisition seems to suspect that one of the members of the Union is this mist-weaving phantom.
What? That's a load of bollocks.
Made sense when I heard about the tensions between Drakaden and the unions, but if that's not true, it can't have been something from our unions. Our offices have been hit the most.
Oh, it's definitely a Sanctus shit.
Wait, could a thief possibly Wait, what could a thief possibly steal from an union office?
That's the strangest thing. The Phantom broke in, but all they took were some documents.
We were wary of the Duke and the other nobles, so we had some advanced security installed at each of our offices. Didn't matter. This thief just slipped right past them. What kind of documents did it take?
Things with lists of our members, our budgets, and minutes of our meetings with employers in the city.
Well, that definitely can't be for anything good. That implies that this Phantom is stealing more than just valuables. What are they trying to accomplish? You got anything else? What's going on? The more I learned about the mist-weaving Phantom, the more their motives became unclear.
Mr. Morrison, Steelman told us that several ships were rotted in port. Do you know which ones? Give me a second. I've been making some notes on the shipping reports right here. Okay.
Okay, so one thing that I've noticed that's really interesting about the shipping report, everything to Von Sanctus Industries, I'm wondering if it's something in which his shit gets stolen and then it miraculously ends up getting like black market traded, and then he's able to keep the money. That's what I'm looking at. Because we see where it's like the bronze, the exotic jewels, and stuff like that. Like, but it's in the same shipment. That there's other stuff that could be taken, but they aren't. That's what I'm kind of curious about. Like, I think this is definitely an inside job.
And I think that there's definitely some stuff to skirt around some, like, laws. That's just me.
Wow, they even hit Von Sanctus?
It's not on the report they even hit my house.
Who is this guy?
It's difficult to see what stolen items have in common.
Do you think they chose targets to intentionally mislead anyone trying to figure that out?
Honestly, that's very likely. Whoever they are, they might be after more than just gold. Why are the items from the Aethengard shipment marked as unknown? Oh, I think the ship was owned by a pretty high-profile noble. Said his name was Aster. That's, Arya's betrothed, right? You met him? Yeah, pretty nice bloke, that one. Nothing like old Lloyd. A lot of his retainers were causing a fuss when they realized that their ship had been robbed. Sounded like something really valuable was stolen from it.
You think that's the Imperial ship that Arya mentioned?
Maybe. They seemed to be really secretive about what was stolen. Also looked like the dude was supposed to receive whatever was on that ship. Wait. I assumed that he was the one buying this stuff. But it gets stolen, he's able to be like, I don't have to pay for it. I don't have to pay for whatever customs are coming in and all of that. That's just me. Might be able to tell us more about what was stolen.
You seriously think he'll talk to us?
You kind of intentionally set him off the last time you saw him. Ugh, you're right. Might have more luck trying to find his Aster. He didn't seem to pay any mind to what happened. He even paid me to show him around the town. We were actually at the refinery when the accident happened. What? Why didn't you start with that, Mr. Morrison? Oh, you never asked.
Well, did you see the accident?
No, my knee was acting up, so I was taking a sit down in the yard outside. I think he saw something. He gave his statement to those knights and they showed up. Someone never mentioned that.
Ugh, is she hiding another witness from us?
That girl seemed really jumpy around him too. She could barely hold a conversation with him.
Oh wow, I've never seen her like that before.
Whoever this Aster was, it sounded like I need to have a talk with him. Isn't that her, like, fiance though? I think I actually learned a lot more than I thought I would. It's time to move elsewhere. Let's do this real quick.
Arcane.
Nothing. Let's head here.
Ah, the Lord of Radiant Flame, you've returned! Did you get a chance to talk to Mr. Jackerton?
I just missed him, apparently. I did talk to the prosecutor, though.
You mean Lady Steelwind? She's not the bad one. She's not that bad once you get to know her.
Anyway, I learned a bit more about what happened, but I think your testimony doesn't really fit in with the reports. You tell me more about what you saw.
Okay, I'll do whatever I can to help. I'm sorry I had to drag you into this. I don't know who else to turn to.
Don't worry about it. You've saved me more times than I can count.
Wait, when did I save you?
Did you forget? It's how we met.
What happened?
I was always getting harassed by some of the older kids by the harbor. One day, they tried to steal the allowance my mother gave me. I stepped in and stopped them.
Ah, I remember those cretins now. They had no choice but to flee from the weight of my majesty.
She basically knew how to scream in the most alarming way. Sounded like something between a rabid fox and a screeching baby.
Yes, my battle cry alone was enough to end the battles before they started. It drew the attention of law enforcement. They thought a monster had broken into the city.
I think that's when I became your apprentice. We'd always go on adventures together through the city.
Yes, and look how much you've grown. I'm glad I put you on the path to greatness. I really miss those old days.
Me too.
After all this is over, let's go on another adventure. You should come with us, Celeste. Yeah, I'm always up for an adventure.
Alright, let's get to work. You said that you saw someone cast a spell that pushed Justin into the vats. Can you tell me exactly what you saw? I need every detail you can remember.
It was kind of hard to see. I was on the ground level and he was up on the catwalk. I think I saw him yelling at someone from up there. That's when I saw a flash of light. There was a short burst of magical energy that ripped the guardrail apart. Justin just happened to be standing right next to the top of a nearby vat. He fell right into it. I told one of the workers what I saw and they went to try to pull him out. And I guess it was too late. Those chemicals must have been really toxic.
They were just toxic. They were strong enough to completely melt down his body.
There's actually something else. I saw Justin drop something from his hand before he fell into that vat. After they pulled him out, I tried looking for it and cast Detect Magic. So I found this on the ground below the walkway.
A leather strap. Look at the strap more closely. It had a buckle on it, but nothing to connect with. Number 6 was engraved. Numeral 6 were engraved onto. I was really confused as to what the purpose of this was.
I saw a blue glow when I looked at it. Cyan? That's the color of conjuration mat traces.
Who is Conjuration?
I tried to give it to the investigators, but they didn't think it was important.
I guess that made sense. They were considering this an accident, not a murder. Hold on, who is Conjuration? Anyone? Because we have the abjuration, but no conjuration. No one yet. Okay. Why were you at the refinery anyway? You don't work there, do you?
I was delivering Justin breakfast. He always skips it. It really annoys me, so I started bringing some of my pastries over every morning.
What?
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
So important that you ate it multiple times yesterday.
I have a high metabolism, okay?
Anyways, isn't it kind of dangerous to let a civilian walk around the factory like that?
I'm no ordinary civilian. No one would dare to bar my visit to the refinery.
Which means that you don't usually visit the refinery.
Yeah, I usually just meet Justin in the freight area. But he didn't show up that day, so I got worried and went looking around. The people who worked there recognized me and let me in. So I don't fall into the vat.
Do you recognize the spell Justin was hit with?
I am a mage, but I'd never seen a spell like that before. It happened instantly, and it didn't look like an explosion or anything. Kinda looked more like an expanding prism.
A prism? Does that match with any spells that you're familiar with?
I specialize in transmutation spells, but any of the spells I know that could create a cube wouldn't expand instantly like that.
Problem is that the Inquisition didn't find any traces of magic on the walkway. Couldn't have been an evocation spell or a transmutation spell. She saw Justin get blasted with some sort of spell that took the shape of an expanding prism. The spell destroyed the guardrail. We're gonna need someone's compendium.
I actually wanted to ask you about that. Why would an explosive evocation spell leave traces of magic? Magical traces are only left on the objects they are targeting. Something like a fireball spell isn't technically targeting anything.
It's correct, but every evocation spell produces some kind of residue. In the case of fireball, its magical traces would be left on whatever had burned or melted. Someone used an evocation spell powerful enough to rip the guardrail apart, they would have found traces of evocation there.
Wow, I never knew how technical these things were.
We're lucky they are, otherwise I'd have a lot less evidence to work with.
If what you're saying is true, was I wrong about what I saw?
I wouldn't say that. I've been doing this long enough to know that there's always an explanation for oddities like this.
You've had 2 cases! I guess as, like, Ruby's unpaid intern or whatever, but still.
If what Rika saw was accident, what kind of spell was Justin hit with? It was strong enough to rip the guardrails apart, but it didn't leave any traces. Either way, I'd learned everything I could from her. It was time to move somewhere else. Let's go find Esther! I arrived back to the refinery. The Inquisition was still sweeping factory ground, but Steelwind seemed to have left. So we entered the factory. I noticed a large, unfamiliar figure. He was old in his years, but his build carried the strength of someone who hadn't spent his life sitting idly. I could see a powerful yet steady temperament in his eyes. His posture carried the shrewdness of a clever businessman. The refinery owners who were still present were deferring to him. He must have been the owner of the Dracogen Trading Company.
Stefanik Dracogen, the merchant owner of the Dracogen Trading Company. He's an investor who helped many commoners start their businesses in Orane. He seems to care deeply about workers' rights and enforces that ideology in his business.
So we approached, he quickly noticed and began waving us over. Hello there, you must be the famous detective Miss Tudor spoke about. I am. I take it that you're the guildmaster of the Dracogen Trading Company. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I appreciate you lending your aid in this matter. I already told Rika this, but I've never tried a case like this before. I honestly don't know how much help I'll be. Well, there isn't a single intern in Orane that will represent me. So I appreciate having you as my attorney, especially with the trial in only a few hours. What? Thought it was strange too. Duke must be pulling some strings.
Courts usually rush cases to trial when they involve magic, but there was supposedly no magic involved in what happened. Did the prosecution know something I didn't?
Guess it didn't matter. I would just have to do what I could. Okay, if your trial's coming up, we'll need to move quickly. Can I ask you some questions about what happened, Dracogen? There's clearly something more going on with this case. Of course. Thought we'd be ending this with Aster, but I guess not. Rika mentioned that Justin was an employee of yours. Could you tell us more about him? What he was like when he was working here? Yes, I just hired him a few months ago. It's a shame what happened to him, and at such a young age, too. Is he a good employee? He was a hard worker, but he was a bit rougher on the edges when he first started. He wasn't great at following the rules at first, but he was good at it with his hands. I wasn't sure what to make of him at first, but Miss Tudor practically begged me to hire him. That did sound like her. She always had a bit of a habit getting involved in her friend's business. He was a good man. All he needed was some structure and direction in life. After a few weeks of working for me, he was following the rules more than anyone else around here. Which only makes it more confusing as to why he was up there. Earlier you mentioned that Justin wasn't supposed to be on the walkway? What do you mean by that? Well, Justin worked in an entirely different department. He was part of a team that managed packaging and freight. He had no business being inside the refinery building, much less up on the catwalk. Was he the type of person to wander around places that he wasn't supposed to? I had a few issues like that when he started a few months ago. But like I said before, he always followed my rules when he was working today. All just makes the whole situation that much more confusing. My contractors assured me that the damage to the guardrail was nothing to worry about. From what Rika said, someone used a spell to break the guardrail apart. If that's true, I doubt Justin's death was your fault. I heard that the mist-weaving phantom hit the refinery this morning? Which part of the refinery did they break into and what did they steal? That's the strangest thing. They broke into my office and cracked my magically locked safe. That safe contained my business records and several gold coins I keep on hand. Stole the records, but left the gold. Why would they leave it after going through so much trouble to break in? What is the Phantom actually after? Your answer is as good as mine. Was the location that Justin fell from close to your office? Yes. My office is positioned over there to overlook the refinery. Okay. Broke into the office due to the catwalk where Justin fell from. They didn't steal the gold. The robbery occurred close to the time of Justin's death. Did he spot the Phantom while he was up there? Is he the Phantom? I think he might be the Phantom. How's your relationship with the local workers' unions? I'd certainly hope they're good. We had our disagreements, of course, but nothing we couldn't work out through discussion. Working in a refinery isn't without its risk, and people wanted to be properly compensated for that. I just hope we could put this accident behind us and take more precautions in the future. It seemed to genuinely care, but it honestly sounded too good to be true. Merchants tend to be more emotionally guarded. It naturally came with the occupation. I didn't see any thoughts through the eye of horrors. What was he really thinking? I have to ask, why would you propose the formation of the workers' union in the first place? With all due respect, I think someone in your position would have every reason to stop that from happening. I don't blame you for thinking that, and I'm sure many other merchants in this kingdom would agree with you. That's exactly why I proposed it to Noah. See, now this kingdom treats those at the bottom of society. Those without are treated like tools, worked by their employers until they break and need to be replaced. And tell me, Mr. Cuthbert, you own any appliances made by Von Sanctus Industries? Von Sanctus brand oven? You mean that one that keeps breaking down? Yeah, that's exactly the problem. And Duke's employees are so overworked that they naturally can't do their jobs properly. Quality control is non-existent, but it's all about doing the bare minimum required to turn a profit with them. I'm not one to brag, but my products have been touted to be far more reliable than Von Sanctus's. It's a simple thing, really. When you keep your employees happy, they perform better, and that pays itself forward. I created the first workers' union with Noah to allow workers to better advocate for themselves. I'm glad to see it set a precedent for the employees of other companies to do the same. I guess I could see his logic there, and Von Sanctus's products were pretty poorly made, which only made those reports of tension between them all the more strange. There's something strange going on with this case. Yeah, especially with the mist-weaving phantom. There's that, but there's also something else that stood out to me. They're fabricated by Von Sanctus. After personally talking to Mr. Morrison and Stephanic Dracogen, one thing is clear. There are no tensions between Dracogen and the unions. There have been they've had very little reason to lie to me, and even if they had, their statements wouldn't have matched so closely.
What about those reports Steelman talked about? They didn't just say that things were bad, they said they were hostile to each other.
I think those reports might actually be related to the Phantom.
What? How?
Oh my gosh, he's taking all the stuff, so then it seems like it's people from the... what am I thinking? I don't know for a reason, but the Phantom isn't looking to steal items of monetary value.
What if...
Hold on.
Maybe.
The serial robber seems to value records and documents, specifically those relating to the workers' unions in the Draconic Trading Company. He's the one that's been doing it. It's not concrete, but if we connect their actions to steal one's report, something becomes suspect.
What if...
Hold on. Whoever the misweaving Phantom is, the documents they stole are being used to file these false reports.
Why would they do that, though?
Can't be for anything good. They're not just a common thug looking to make some easy money. They're working towards something that's already affecting the political climate of Arcane. I can feel my hand clenching into a fist. Whoever was filing these false reports would put everyone in the city in danger. If this continued, Lucio Steelwind might not leave when they find the shipment. He continue his bloodthirsty crusade here. I'm going to find them, and when I do, I'm going to wring the truth out of them. I hope that this is something with the game itself, and this is not my screen messing up, but I'm not sure. What? Okay, good. I got a little bit nervous that I was like, I hope that nothing has happened to my computer. Because I'm not even like, it's on the older side. I've been able to make it work. It definitely needs some upgrades, but I'm not tech savvy enough to know how to do any of that. And I've just been like, So anytime something like that happens, I'm like, oh my gosh, is it messing up now? Because I've accidentally stumbled into like PC help on like Reddit. And so I'll see so many people's screens get wonky because of the GPUs. And I'm like, oh no, is my GPU finally going? And it's like, okay, no, that's intentional. I had a tiny freak out. It wasn't for one little moment. And I was like, oh no, please don't let it be. But honestly, it did look too clean to be like a mess up. But I'm like, oh no. There's one person who could tell us more about what's happening in Arcane, Lloyd Von Sanctus himself.
Okay. Do you really think he's gonna help you, though?
I don't have a choice. We'll just have to see what we can get out of him. And if that didn't work, I just grabbed the information I needed out of it from his mind. Duke's Manor's in the upper district west of here. I'd be careful if I were you. A Duke of a Pillar family is not someone to be trifled with. That's never stopped me before. Clearly. Either way, it seemed like I'd learned everything I could for now. It was time to move somewhere else. And speaking of moving, y'all will be moving to a different video because we're ending this episode here. I'm trying to make these a little bit more fun segues, but I hope y'all enjoyed. I am excited to be getting into more Tyrion Cuthbert. You know, it's been fun. It has genuinely been fun. So, yeah, we're definitely getting into some more of the politics here. And I think we're gonna finally be bringing a Pillar family down this episode, which I'm very excited to see Von Sanctus get his comeuppance. I'm really glad. I'm hoping. We're gonna cope with this, but hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see y'all next time for the continuation. Bye.